Yeah,
Motherfuckers just talking to themselves.
yeah, you were just calling yourself a dumb bitch. From a different account is so crazy. Stick talk. 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 And hockey.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 101 of Stick Talk Hockey.
The college lecture episode.
That's right, 101. Hockey 101.
Sit down.
We got
We're going to tell you what goalie interference is.
we got a lot going on today. A lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of fun stuff. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the first week after deadline. We have a whole bunch of news, too. Well, not a ton, but some interesting stuff to sink our teeth into nonetheless.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, we're in full-on playoff watch now. It's an exciting time. Once March comes around, it's like, okay, March Madness is getting underway. NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs are about to get started. If you're a baseball fan, that's about to get started. If you're a footy fan, Champions League is on. I mean, it's an awesome time to be a sports fan, and I can't wait for this.
The birds are chirping. The sun is out.
Yeah.
The fresh cut grass is in the air.
Oh, I'm going golfing Monday.
And playoff hockey's around the corner.
Woo-wee.
Golfing Monday.
Yeah.
Great call.
Yeah.
I need to get out soon.
I would have dropped you the invite, but I know you're working.
Yeah, I definitely am. Womp, womp, womp.
Boom. As always, I'm your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours, Trilly.
We got our producer over there.
Producer Jay.
And, should we get into the episode?
Let's dive on in.
First up this week, I want to touch on something that Elliot Friedman noted at the wrap-up of his trade deadline episode on the podcast. 32 Thoughts podcast, of course. And that is Mikko Rantanen going to the Dallas Stars big for the game of hockey?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Dallas is, I didn't realize, the fourth biggest market in North America.
I did not know that.
For sports. Number
Really?
one is New York. Number two is Los Angeles.
Okay.
Number three is Chicago.
Okay.
Number four is Dallas, Texas.
Where's Philly sit on that list?
Don't know.
I'd
Jay,
imagine
can you
they
look
have to
that
be
up,
there.
actually? Just biggest sports markets, North America.
Because you'd have to imagine Philly's kind of would be high on that list. That's a pretty big sports town. Toronto, Philly. Okay.
So that list actually has Boston ahead of Dallas. Either way, massive market. And a market that's also gone through the ringer.
Nothing good really comes from Texas too often.
The Cowboys suck. Like, I'm sorry. I know. They suck. And then you have this moment in time where, the NHL is finally back in a situation where it kind of was in 1994, where Sports Illustrated put up the cover in 94, the NBA, or why the NHL's hot and the NBA is not.
I remember this.
It was a big, big moment in like kind of the flip where Jordan had left the NBA.
That article was making the rounds last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Because we're kind of cycling back to it now, right? Jordan had left the NBA. It was a very defensive-minded league. It was pre-Shaq and Kobe era. And the NHL had just come off of one of the biggest finals of all time in the Rangers breaking a 50-year drought against the Canucks. RIP.
Sorry.
There was superstars everywhere. It looked like the NHL was about to have a very, very big moment. And then they completely squandered it. The NHL followed that up with 2 lockouts, a salary cap, and the dead puck era, where the NBA followed that up with Shaq and Kobe and then LeBron, right?
Yeah, take your pick.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this time around, we have finally another moment where the NHL has this Four Nation. I'm wearing my new Four Nation shirt right now.
Beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. It was monumentous, and with the NBA down 30% in viewing, the least viewed All-Star game of all time, we kind of have another moment here. And what happened to Dallas during this time for the NBA? They lose Luka.
What's the saying? Nature abhors a vacuum?
Great pull. It was really like that's a shattering blow for Dallas sports fans. And then you pair that with the Cowboys being horrific, and Dallas sports, one of the biggest markets in North America, is looking for something to latch onto right now.
Their next hero.
And here comes Mikko Rantanen. A very big, very public move of a superstar to Dallas. Tell me Gary Bettman didn't make that happen.
You know what? I'd buy it.
Would that not have been a smart move by him?
He blocks the Toronto trade. He called Mitch Marner and
I was like, no.
You get rid of that no move clause and I'll break your knees.
He said, look, Mikko, Dallas is nice. You're gonna like Dallas. That's what's gonna happen. I don't know, but like that could be one of those things where like, you know, I just laid out the whole history of what kind of happened in '94 and how the NHL squandered it. This could be one of those things where we look back on the opposite and we go, that was great work from the NHL for growing the game.
I'm not usually a huge tinfoil person, but I like it. I'll grab a sheet.
I had to get that off because Friedman like kind of briefly noted it, and my brain just started working overtime when I heard that.
It just started cooking.
So that's one thing I just wanted to kind of get out of the way, out the gate here.
That was your jet fuel?
That was my jet fuel for this episode.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
I've been excited all week to come here just to talk about that.
It makes sense. It definitely is melting the steel beams. I can see
That's
it.
right. That's right.
Absolutely.
Jay, do you buy it?
I do.
I like it.
I do. I wasn't really listening because I'm working on this shit here.
Jay, you are on the ground right now. We appreciate that.
We love you, Jay.
But you were definitely spitting when you told me that last
week. Let's go. Wild card race. Like I said, we're in full playoff watch now. Very excited for this wild card race. It is close. Like it's real close. In the East, I think what do we got? The Sens and the Jackets right now holding down wild card 1 and 2.
Yep.
That's right. Sens and the Jackets holding down wild card 1 and 2, both by points and point percentage. The Habs, the Rangers, the Red Wings, the Bruins, the Islanders, all right there.
All within 4 points?
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It's pretty crazy, in all honesty. I mean, we're kind of in the same place that we were last year, where the Jackets are kind of the only team here that's decent, if we're being real. Like, remember last year when the Caps had, what, like a minus like 50 goal differential?
Yeah.
And they made the playoffs?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah. I mean, you look at Boston right now, they're a -30 goal differential, and they're technically 2 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, I remember everyone was going, oh no, the Caps could actually have a sick pull here. They could pull through. It's like, dog, they're minus 50.
What a year it's been. Like how different do we look on the Capitals right now? It's so bananas.
Absolutely. And I mean, how much fun are the Capitals to watch now as opposed to last year?
Yeah, so much
fun.
fun.
You have Ovi watch.
Yep.
You got Strome.
Yep.
Just cooking.
Connor McMichael. What a year he's having.
Yeah, hello. PLD.
Yeah.
With the resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's just awesome to watch. So out of those teams in the East, who do y'all think is making it?
I defer to Jay.
Well, first of all, I think we all agree Ottawa is a lock.
Yeah, Ottawa's a lock now. Yeah. They've been playing some damn good hockey.
Yeah.
That's a team I'm standing behind. Not only do I think they're a lock for that wild card spot, I think they have a real shot of upsetting a team like Washington.
I agree too. I agree entirely. This is a team I think is built to make a second round surprise.
I've actually been pondering that all week. I got some in the works, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
I like it. I like it when Jay's got some
just scheming over
mystique to him. Yeah, when he pulls up with the aura of some things he's cooking, I just enjoy that.
The chef's in the kitchen, and
That's
I'm
right.
so here for
it. As far as this wild card 2 go, first of all, I think it's only between Columbus and New York. I think Montreal will falter, although I do with them. Actually, a big Montreal guy. I've turned the corner.
I have too. What a fun team to watch right now.
I've been big on the Habs all season. I'm just so here for the rookie train. It's just such a young group.
It's just such a young group, and they play so hard.
Absolutely, and they make a ton of mistakes, but who cares? It's so fun, and they're always looking to one up themselves. So
They have something special brewing in Montreal.
I think that Detroit was honestly on a bit of a fake run.
Couldn't agree more.
frauds.
Like it was like a 10-game stretch of being great.
We collectively are Detroit Red Wings haters on this podcast. Yeah,
we didn't buy it.
So like I said, I think it's between Columbus and New York. Last Sunday, Columbus embarrassed them.
Yeah,
in the Garden.
Yeah, they did in the Garden.
But man,
yeah, it's tough.
If I had to put money right now,
Mm-hmm.
I would bank on the Blue Jackets.
I like it.
I think New York has just been horrible against every good team they've played.
It's true.
And I'm just remembering they don't have Adam Fox.
That's also true. So
give me Columbus.
I like it. I also want to pick Columbus. I think for the sake of the pod, I'm going to take the Rangers here. And it's not just to be a contrarian. I think I can make a good case for either team. But for me, I just think it's something I'm going to get to in the West as well. But the Rangers just kind of have the higher floor. And just purely far more talent, even without Adam Fox. You know what I mean? I quite like this Jackets team. Shockingly, we all thought they were going to finish with like 50 points this year. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Rangers have Artemi Panarin and Igor Shesterkin and JT Miller and all of these players that's just like that are starting to play pretty well too for the most part. And it's like, I don't know. I think they're probably going to find a way.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, JT Miller was the big thing that shook it up, but things have definitely looked a lot different since he's been on the roster. And how can you not? Like you said, it's a high floor team now when you have a guy like that introduced into your top six.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that guy's built for the playoffs. His game is literally built for the playoffs.
And for just these kinds of big games down the stretch, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of an interesting take here.
Oh, because you think the Devils are going to fall out.
Yeah.
That's why.
I
was wondering what you were
New Jersey, they won a huge game against Columbus this week.
They did.
Because if they lost that game, it's a 4-point difference.
It's a 4-point difference.
Yeah, that was going to suck.
Look at this, y'all. Tomorrow.
Wow. Okay, so by the time this pod comes out, I mean, we're gonna get a little bit of clarity here on Rangers versus Blue Jackets. They're going head-to-head, 4 p.m. on Saturday. Very intriguing.
I'm going to be watching that. That is on Trill's must-watch list.
Yeah.
It's not going to make our watch list because we're going to do like Tuesday forward.
Yeah, starting from when it comes out.
Shout out Jay for putting that together.
Mm-hmm.
The wild card is kind of tough for me because I'm so low on the Devils right now. Jay made a great point. They did win a huge game this week against Columbus.
Yeah.
If they lost that, it would have been a 4-point spread, which is very concerning.
For sure.
Considering all of the injuries that they're now going through and the amount of replacements that they have playing higher in the lineup than they should in the first place. It's not exactly the safest feeling I've had heading into the playoffs before.
Yeah. Did I see that again? They're playing again on Monday.
Indeed.
Wow. Very interesting.
Yeah, that'll be a big one.
Tickets as low as $14.
I'm gonna be there
at Columbus. Yeah, I mean the flight down there would probably cost you just as much as a ferry and ticket to Vancouver.
I was gonna say that probably ends up being cheaper than going to a Canucks game.
Yeah, there you go. That's not bad.
What a time to be alive.
I'm gonna take New York as well. I just think that they're built a little bit better to make the finals. I just really don't like Columbus's goaltending situation right now. When I look at Ottawa's goaltending situation, that's a lock. They've been playing great even with the injuries that they've had popping up sporadically.
Yeah.
They've found a way to hold it together.
Yeah.
Columbus has just kind of been shuffling between goalies all season.
That's very fair.
It's concerning now because you have Elvis Merzlikins, who's looked great for the last 4 to 5 games ish,
Yeah.
but he's also had some really rough spots
Oh, yeah.
in these 65 games.
Yeah.
He's had points where he's lost his starting role to Tarasov,
Yeah.
a 25-year-old, not really anything special.
Sure.
He's good, but he's not great.
Yeah.
Which you see a lot with these kind of fringe rebuild teams.
Absolutely.
And I just find that really concerning when your starting goalie heading into the playoffs is questionably just as good as your backup.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where like Ottawa's also had goaltending issues and they've just figured out how to keep it solid this whole time, whereas like I don't know that Columbus's form, which is very good. Like their form has been very good as a team. I don't know that that's enough to make up for the actual problems in net they've been having.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
the issue is like Ottawa's goaltending issues and woes typically came from an injury and a guy being forced to work more than he had to or was expected to.
Yeah, that's like the story of their entire history of the franchise.
And that's fine
Yeah.
because like you can't predict that.
Yeah.
To a degree. But no one's been hurt in Columbus all year in the crease. They've
Yeah.
had 2 healthy goalies with
Yeah.
very, very clean records of health in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
For sure.
And they're still just apparently unable to stop a beach ball at times. I mean, you have guys, and the inconsistency like needs to be highlighted. I was going through Elvis's stats, and he had like an 880 followed by a 930 followed by an 820 followed by a
Yeah.
910, and it's like you can't do that in the playoffs.
No, you need consistency.
You can't even do that coming down the stretch.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
So
I like that take.
yeah, I'm taking New York.
Mm-hmm.
And if the spread wasn't 8 points, if the Devils had lost the game against Columbus this week,
Yeah.
then my take would have been New Jersey's going to choke it,
Yeah.
and they're going to take wild card 2,
Yeah. Or
one.
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense for sure. So let's go to the West then. Another interesting race in the West. I feel like it's been a long time since we had like an interesting race in both places. As much as, wild card 2 isn't making it very far. The only team that really has a chance of these wild card 1 teams, I think, Ottawa. Right now it's Minnesota in the West. Those teams could do some upsetting. If you're Columbus and you got to go play Florida or the Caps, rip. If you're Calgary, Vancouver, and you got to go play Winnipeg, rip. But all the same, we have quite the race in the West. Right now, Calgary's holding down that spot. They have 71 points in 65 games played. Vancouver, also 71 points in 65 games played. Neck and neck. St. Louis and Utah are both 2 points back. Are both 2 points back of that, with one more game played each. Calgary and Utah both losing in regulation tonight. Not good signs for either of them. Vancouver and Calgary had a crazy game the other night with a shootout win for Vancouver. That was a huge one as well. This race is going to be tight right to the finish.
Early prediction.
Yeah.
I kind of got my money on the Mutes. I really like the way Utah's played lately. I've been
all year.
And I've been a big fan of their goaltending too. Like
Yeah,
I
me too.
just ripped into Columbus for shaky goaltending.
Yeah.
Utah's been really solid, and
Yeah.
when they have had to juggle to a guy who is even in their AHL system,
It's been fine.
It's been more than fine. It's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's picked up like 3 wins out of 5 games or 4 wins. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil my exact prediction yet, but Utah has had moments as a young team in a new city, as a new franchise basically. They've had stretches this year where they've played hockey, again, form like Columbus, they've had the form of a genuinely like elite team through stretches. Like dangerous 5-on-5 numbers that are like, whoa, this team really controls play at quite a high level.
And at a high level and a high pace. I mean, when they get the puck on their stick, it's tough to take it away sometimes. You watch teams swim and you're like, oh, okay, this is a very, very capable two-way team.
Yeah.
I would really love to be like, oh my God, Calgary, my prediction's coming true. I kind of just said Calgary makes playoffs as rage bait. I'm not buying it. I just don't. I think they're out of gas. And I mean, with the injuries plus the suspensions that they've had.
Yeah.
Another one in Zari now. It's like.
Yeah. Couple games out for him, and that's big for them because they need that. They need what Zari brings. Yeah, and you lose in overtime last night, and then you go into Seattle tonight. You really need a win out of that one. Like Seattle is not even in this race now, and you lose in regulation. I mean, like those types of things, like just woof. I don't think Calgary has it either. I also, like, we got to be honest here. Out of the three of us, I really need Calgary to lose.
Yeah, I don't think that it would.
That will go down as, like, my worst fence I've died on ever. Like, I have been hating on this group all season long. I have been constantly at every turn, like we've all had bad takes and good takes on this podcast. That whatever. I mean, when we're firing off takes publicly every week, it's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
But like Calgary, like every single time they've been brought up this year, I'm like, this team sucks. This team sucks, and they're absolutely not making the playoffs. So I mean, here we are, and I'm just kind of like, they gotta miss, right?
You would hope.
They gotta miss, like,
especially when they're over your Canucks in standings right now, holding that wild card too. Like, yeesh.
Like, I really just don't think I just don't think I'm that dumb. Like, I think I'm really dumb, but like, just not that dumb. Like, there's no way this Calgary team is materially better than Vancouver or Utah.
No,
I just don't buy that.
No, God, no. But this is like. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. This is a team that I feel has just like learned to suck at such a high level that they're able to pull wins out of their ass. It doesn't make sense. Like they have such a low floor and such a low ceiling in general that when they're swinging over their head and swimming in the deep water, it's some teams' worst attempt. And they still find a way to squeak out a bullshit win. A lot of it is Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, and he's been fantastic, and I really like watching Dustin Wolf.
He absolutely deserves flowers for keeping it together this long, but this is a team that just has holes through it.
Yeah.
They're a rusty bucket.
Yeah. I think you saw it in that Vancouver and Calgary game the other night. We're like, yeah, it was close. It's a comeback win for Vancouver. Vancouver wins. That doesn't mean anything, but like once it went to overtime, it was like, oh yeah, the Canucks aren't losing this game. Calgary touched the puck for like 12 seconds the entire 5 minutes. Vancouver's talent level, especially now that Elias Pettersson's going again, is just miles higher.
Exactly. And when you really strip down the game to all of those critical moments, all of those like face-offs you don't really think matter until you pay attention to how much they matter.
Yeah.
They lose in every statistical category. It's hard to put any money or stock in this team other than just being like, yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Good for you for where you're at, but also, you know, how much longer is this truly sustainable?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Both teams too have a gauntlet at the end of their season. That's going to be tough to watch. I'm gonna take my Canucks though, because you know I got to take my Canucks. If it's not them, it's going to be Utah. I'm standing by it. Calgary Flames won't be in the playoffs this year.
I'm standing with you on that. As much as I love the rage bait of Calgary for the playoffs, I am not going to carry that flag any further. I'm putting it down. I do really like Utah. I love their whole club all around. And I also just don't take the Blues seriously right now.
Now the Blues, yeah.
Just like a directionless franchise that keeps failing upward. I don't have anything else to say about it.
I love that they're technically like between Vancouver and Utah, and like we just didn't mention them once, basically this entire segment, because like it's no.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Sorry.
no, we don't need to even like. Oh, Zach
I-
Bolduc's really gonna haul you into the playoffs.
Like, yeah, I just don't think they have the talent or the juice.
No.
Whereas like Calgary has the juice without the talent. Utah kind of has the juice and the talent, in my opinion. Vancouver has the talent without the juice. St. Louis just has neither.
Bingo. They got a Jordan Binnington.
They do. Shout out to Jordan Binnington.
They got an attitude problem. Aside from that,
I'll never say anything bad about Jordan Binnington ever again. Jonesy, who you got?
I tip my cap to you because you have honestly put me on to the Utah Hockey Club.
Hell yeah.
You've made me a believer.
They might be my second favorite team in the NHL. I love watching Utah. Them and the Caps.
The advanced numbers favor them highly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like there's some I just feel like the Canucks just aren't a playoff team. Like they're just so unserious that like I just feel like the hockey gods will not reward them.
That would be very fair.
unserious is a good word to choose for the Canucks season.
It's very fair.
So give me Utah.
I like it.
Wow.
Hell
Jay
yeah.
and I agreeing on a take,
I know.
like an out of the pocket prediction for once.
Damn.
I know.
Wow, actually, that's wild. Okay. Oli Mata to the Utah Hockey Club coming next season. Let's go. We got some games to watch for this week. If you're, the NHL schedule, not only are they terrible about marketing their games, they also just like kind of have weird games and weird times and weird nights.
Absolutely.
And so I figure in the midst of this pretty intense and awesome playoff race, we should highlight some games that are coming up this week.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I don't like the NHL schedule,
Yeah.
it usually kind of hits around the back end.
It does. Yeah.
Especially when you start hitting the wild card race. Like, yeah, it kind of boils down nicely.
For sure, yeah. So, I mean, Tuesday night, the night this episode comes out, Senators-Habs, that'll be a straight-up Eastern wildcard race battle. Definitely keep an eye on that one if you can. Rangers, Red Wings, Blues, Canucks, Flames, Utah, all in action that night as well. That's baller. We'd love to hear that. Thursday night, Blue Jackets and the Florida Panthers. Could be a potential playoff series preview. Big game for the Blue Jackets. Canucks and the Blues also playing. That'll be a huge game as well. Yeah, huge one.
This is unreal.
You want to read that out?
On Friday, we got the Blue Jackets versus the Penguins.
Yeah.
And it is the only game playing in the NHL that day.
That's so insane.
Sick.
Prime
Thanks.
time. Prime time right there.
What are we doing?
Honestly, that's one of those ones where, like, looking back, you might, like, if you think about the beginning of the season when they were scheduling these games, it's like, okay, Senators Habs, that's going to be a banger game on Tuesday night, but you probably wouldn't have thought it was going to be at the beginning of the year.
No, probably not.
So it's like, okay, if that's a Tuesday game, whatever. But then you look at that and it's like a Friday night only game on. You scheduled the Blue Jackets and the Penguins. What the hell's wrong with y'all?
That's a tough look because no one had this type of faith in the Blue Jackets this season. Even before the bad news. Like, the schedule was made way before the bad news even hit. And
Nor really the Penguins, no?
No. I mean,
No.
the NHL would like to pretend that the Penguins are still elite.
Well, and I think they still know that Crosby's marketable.
And that's the thing, is it's a big pull. And then they're going to bleed that cow dry until Crosby and Gino leave.
Yeah.
And then they'll let them wither until they find another 2 top 10 picks.
Top dogs.
Type shit.
Saturday, we got a 10 a.m. game. Canucks face JT Miller for the first time. Is that at Rogers Arena? It is at MSG 10 a.m. So the PD versus Miller right there. That'll be a big one to watch for both of those teams as well, right in the middle of that race. Besides that, those are all the wildcard hunting teams will be playing, but not against each other. That'll be the big kind of wildcard team game. This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. But that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
What are you setting the over-under for hits, all-time game hits for Miller on that Saturday?
Yeah, he's gonna be throwing them for sure.
I got it like a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. The further we get from the actual incident and trade, the more I think that the team and JT Miller don't have animosity for each other. Like, I really think that the Pettersson versus Miller stuff, I think it was a part of it for sure, but I really think that was overblown. Like, if you watched JT Miller this season as a Canuck, did he ever look like his heart was in this season?
No, God, no. No, and that's the thing about JT Miller is with him. Like, he's not one of those guys where he's stoic and you just... No. It's like, oh, is he removed? Is he locked in? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's so obviously in it or not.
And, like, you could tell on the ice, the body language... The off-ice stuff, the interviews, I really just can't stop thinking about, someone who compared it to the Luongo thing, where it's just like the organization was done with the player and the player was done with the organization and the city and the fans. He talked so much about how he hated his name being chanted. I don't know that there's actual animosity there as much as just like an organization and a player that were just done with each other.
I couldn't agree more, honestly. I think that some things just run their course and some things are never really meant to be. It's oil and water.
Yeah.
Miller's very much a polarizing personality, to say the least. And
certainly, yeah.
Him being in New York and making a name stay there makes so much more sense than Vancouver.
Totally does. He's a New York kind of guy.
Through and through.
And I can't stand those Rangers.
I'm walking here.
Yeah, factual.
Forget about it.
So let's get into the news here for the week then.
Yeah. I also wanted to circle back to our Dallas conversation because
did you? Yeah.
I am here to double, triple down.
Yeah.
I am so certain that when Rantanen comes back to Colorado, the booze will just be rampant. It will be something to witness. Jay did some great sleuthing, some investigative work.
What I missed that. What happened?
You haven't seen the post?
Mm-mm.
I feel like the comments are funny as hell. We should pull it up.
Yeah, pull up my text there. Yeah,
motherfuckers just talking to themselves.
Yeah, you were just calling yourself a dumb bitch. From a different account is so crazy. All right, so we had a Puck Empire post. Avs fans on Twitter say they're going to boo Mikko Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen, blah, blah, blah. Don't plan to welcome him back. Well, not everyone has to feel the way, but he ruined a legacy he built here for me. I'll never root for him. But as a hockey player, I wish him zero success and I'll boo. All right, Kelly. Boo him loudly so it can be heard. Jeez, boo his ass. No, you good. You good. Booing and throwing money on the ice. All right, Richard.
That's a top 10 answer.
That is,
I'm on my
actually.
Steve Harvey shit right now.
He took less money to sign with a rival. He's a Denver sports villain on par with Matt Duchene and Carmelo Anthony. Wow. Look, these people are dumb, I think. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's just... the Rantanen thing, it's so... Things changed so much between when Colorado offered him that first contract and when he had to make a decision on Dallas right at the deadline.
Yeah, and I think that, like, it's really understated that it blindsided him. He wasn't expecting to be traded. Like, it's not like he went out of his way and said, hey, we're not going to come to terms, so you may as well trade me. He was expecting talks to continue into the offseason.
From what we've heard, it sounds like the agent and player thought that there was just kind of a negotiation tactic here where they were kind of going, hey, well, you should probably, like, here's an offer. If you don't sign it, we're going to have to think about moving you. Like, very common. They just did it to Pettersson last year in Vancouver. I mean, it didn't go well, but that's another story. But I don't think he thought he was getting moved. He seems to have made it pretty clear that he wanted to stay in Colorado.
And it's hard to imagine that he would have wanted to leave. I mean, he was on Nathan McKinnon's wing. It's a very solid team.
Why would you want to leave?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't really make sense. So I get that, yeah, he went to a rival and boo. But, like, I don't know. Lots of Devils players have gone to the Rangers and I've welcomed them back with open arms. I don't know. Like, go and get a job. Get a job somewhere.
It's not like he walked in free agency. Like, that's not what happened here. He got traded twice in like a month.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
I don't know.
At a certain point, when a team's looking to salvage the value they spent on you, or looking to salvage just value in general, you don't have too much of a choice, even with an NMC.
Yeah.
Your options are going to be pretty damn limited.
Yeah, 100%. You know, that top comment, the top two comments, actually. The second one, he brought them a cup and they act like this super spoiled fans. Wow. Factual statement right there. But then if anything, Carolina should be booing him, not Colorado. That is true. I won't be surprised at all if Carolina boos him, because that was straight up like they offered him the contract right at the deadline. They said, we got to move you if you don't take it. This is what we're doing here. We just gave up a ton of assets for you. And he said, nah, I am good on that.
And they offered more.
And they offered more.
13-5.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
yeah,
he just said, nah, trade me.
If Carolina, Carolina fans boo him, I got no problem with that. Colorado fans, this is just like proof to me, because like has anyone ever said anything bad about Colorado fans? Like, nobody cares, right?
No, but we should. We definitely should say more about Colorado fans, because they've been pretty loud and insufferable for the last half a decade.
I feel like it's more of just a revealer that everyone's fans suck. Like, at the end of the day, everyone's got the horrific fans in their fan base.
I think it really just shows how little puck is known in Colorado.
Factual, like, and some of it, like, yeah.
I know.
Go to that last one, Jay.
That goes for a lot of fan bases. Like, there's a lot of like huge fan bases that are like, hockey is massive in their city, and they just don't know puck. Yeah. I've heard some of the dumbest shit from Habs fans.
Absolutely, Habs, Leafs, Canucks, for sure.
Absolutely. Boston, Jersey. We're stupid too.
And Michael Barnabas as well. Dumb. So that's the name of this fella that said him, just signed with our biggest rivals for $2 million more. Just an absolute joke. Michael Barnabas, dumb.
Mike Barney 123 on X.
Yeah, that's right. that's right.
Yeah.
I hope you this.
Mike Barney 123. We know you're watching.
The stick talk influence is undeniable.
We're not vibing with you, brother. Yeah, no, that's a lot of slides. So you might be right. You may very well be right. He may very well get booed, and I think that'll be a shame. Probably hurt the guy's feelings.
He deserves some flowers, and you know what? I think he will probably eventually one day get those flowers.
I think so. Yeah.
But he'll probably be on the retirement tour. Not anytime soon.
Yeah. All right. Adin Hill gets an extension, 6 years, $6.25 million. The only reason I thought this was super notable because it's a goalie extension, but it's a significant tone shift for Vegas in the way that they've approached goalies.
Absolutely.
Over their entire franchise's history to this point. I thought that was notable and interesting.
Definitely. I think it speaks to the fact that as more teams are beginning to adopt the 1-2 system with shorter contracts, you're going to start hitting guys that have bigger offers just to go other places. And if you're going to be playing 20 or 30 games regardless, I'm going to go where the extra mill is if the opportunity is not any different.
100%.
And I think that Vegas also may just, I know for a fact that their GM doesn't like hearing it, but it's kind of true. They're a ruthless organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have been and they will be, and that's fine. Sharks get the kill.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to have an issue signing guys for team-friendly deals off the premise of, we'll win you a cup, when they don't even trust you to keep them past deadline without even, finding out they were traded via Sports Center.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy. If my kids found out, if I had kids, if my kids found out that I got traded via their social media timeline before my agent was even able to reach out to me, I'd be fucking choked.
Did you see that guy in the AHL today? AHL head coach that just traded his son for future considerations?
Yeah. It's a Devil's Boy, the Utica Comets.
That was Utica?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We love it.
Ruthless.
Speaking of the Devils, Dougie Hamilton done from this season. We talked about it a little bit when we were talking about the Devils kind of folding in on themselves like a dying star. So tough.
One, you. Two, that's hilarious.
What do you do?
Fold it up.
Yeah.
Just get ready for next year. And it's it tails into what I was saying at deadline, which is I think they knew that this was coming. There's reports that Hamilton was definitely more than likely done for the season, but could be back for playoffs.
Right.
Now we're more at he's done. He's just toast. No playoffs. Forget it.
Yeah.
And I think that management knew this already, or probably had a significant understanding.
Decent
and probably
idea.
Didn't make it known, or else sticker prices on defensemen suddenly go shooting up. And maybe a couple organizations also probably had their feelers out there, and that might be why Dumoulin costs so freaking much.
Yeah, 100%.
You need a defenseman.
Yeah.
Okay, pay for him.
So what do you do going forward though? Going into next year now, that's 2 seasons in a row where your number one defenseman has had massive injuries. Jack Hughes again, it's the same shoulder. I'm thinking back a little bit to Jay when he was talking about how the Devils, you don't know what that window is going to look like because you don't know what's going to happen with injuries and stuff. And now it's okay, now it's a little scary.
We're kind of here. And I've kind of been done with the Dougie Hamilton acquisition for a while because I saw this coming again after the first injury.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of just been injury prone since he's been in New Jersey, and I don't think that's the cornerstone piece that you're going to build a cup run off of.
No.
And I don't think that he's the type of dynamic offensive defenseman that brings you a cup anyways.
No.
He doesn't give me that shade of Adam Fox or Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar where it's this guy is explosive.
For the record, one of those things is not like the other.
I knew you were going to go there. He gives me Montour vibes. He has great offensive upside, but only when he's healthy and only when he's really clicking off.
That's valid.
I think that they probably need to reassess what they've done with their bottom 6. I've said it on record many times.
Do you? I don't that seems like way less of a problem than what you're going to do with your number one center and your number one defenseman.
See, I would love to be fold it up and trade Jack Hughes because he's hurt.
No.
But exactly, you can't. He's just...
No, I mean,
You just have to acquire more depth. And the point, like, it keeps tailing back to previous episodes, but they never actually addressed the fact that their 3C got drafted by the London Police.
but okay, yes.
Like, Michael
I know.
McLeod being lost from the lineup was a huge loss, not only in the
No,
sense of
no.
like cap affordability, but the availability of winning your draws and adding depth.
Tro,
Like,
you put Michael McLeod into this lineup, you're still cooked.
yeah.
Dougie Hamilton, Jack Hughes are dead. You're still cooked.
Well, yeah.
What the
I
hell
mean,
does that help you?
Well, we're folding up the season. That much is obvious. I mean, going into next season, you have to just
Try and get another number one defenseman.
and diversify. And I mean, the Devils are kind of in that window now where they have to just frickin' hope that some of their younger players actually pan out in a sensible timeline.
For sure.
Like, if Nemec has another injury to start the year and then takes another 40 games to find his form in any sort of capacity, and he hasn't been good at the NHL level.
No.
He had some really redeeming quality in the last week when he scored the game-winning goal for him.
Yeah.
But even then, like, you need these guys to start playing above their heads and quick, because that's what we agree makes a team a wagon. It's the affordability of your RFAs.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
And their
Like, I
RFAs
don't-
aren't hitting. Dawson Mercer's been fucking brutal.
He has been.
Andre Palat is a goddamn mess. Curtis Lazar shouldn't be on this team. Paul Cotter, I mean, he's been hurt twice this season. I'm not going to shit on Paul Cotter. He actually looked like a great addition at first.
I got no problems here with that bottom six for the most part. Like, that just, like, I'm sorry I just, like, absolutely lost my mind on you there. But like that just feels like such small fish thinking to me when you're looking at like a team that's doesn't have a reliable number one defenseman right now.
No, and I mean, they should be trading or looking to trade for a number one defenseman because they clearly don't have a new one in their system yet. Seamus Casey's look great,
Sure,
but he's still years out.
And that's the thing, right? Like, yes, you have some high end prospects. Like Casey has been like a bright spot in your development system, and Anton Saleyev could be a big piece at some point. But I'm just sitting here, and the hardest part is like watching those two, and then Luke Hughes, and then Simon Nemec, and it's like, okay, is one of these guys gonna hit at some point?
That's exactly of what I'm alluding to, is that the Devils, as much as they're punting forward this year, like, it seems silly, but it's so essential for them to make the playoffs, even if they're going to lose, because those guys need to figure their shit out, and they need a taste of what real competition. They need to be taken into the real world.
Yeah,
the NHL regular season is not the real world.
Yeah, it's fair.
Playoffs are where the men show up.
Yeah. And even then, the playoffs are a different beast from the finals, but you got to get good in the playoffs before you can get good in the finals.
And you got to learn to lose before you learn to win. That's typically how it goes.
Typically, yeah.
And most of these guys haven't even seen playoff experience.
Yeah.
And when the Devils got playoff experience the first time around, it wasn't moving either. I mean, they barely got past the Rangers, and they got throttled by Carolina.
Yeah, they did.
Like, you need to start making appearances regardless of how good or bad it goes, and that's why I justify the acquisition of a Dumoulin or a Glass or a Cholowski. Ugh.
I don't hate that take. I don't hate that at all. Yep.
But I will add to that they need, if they're serious about making a cup run in the next 4 years, to trade Hamilton or find it in their pockets to acquire a very, very talented top number one to move Hamilton deeper in the lineup. Cough, cough. I heard Rasmus Dahlin was pretty pissed about his situation in Buffalo.
I think you trade Luke Hughes for Rasmus Dahlin. Because I think that probably, at least if that's the framework, I think that gets that deal over the finish line as the framework of it. Like, I think that Hughes has a lot of name hype because of how phenomenal Jack and Quinn are. A team like Buffalo wants a long-term guy. Luke's obviously very young.
Buffalo's addicted to long-term paperwork.
Absolutely. And he's young. And Darlene might want to change the
There's something there.
Tell me there ain't something there.
There's definitely something there. That was the first name I landed on when you said you need a number one defenseman. It's probably Darlene. And I mean, if you wanted,
I like it.
If you're also looking at the well and that's not available, then he's not a number one. But Rasmus Anderson could diversify this lineup in a great way.
Absolutely.
And Calgary is very much in that space of, do we do it? Do we not do it?
Yeah.
Especially after this season. You have to imagine if they miss playoffs again, they're looking at punting some more.
Yeah, that's fair.
What y'all think of Simo Nemec for Roman Yossi?
Whoa.
Fuck that.
Whoa. I don't hate that at all.
Roman Yossi, I don't think is as old as you think.
How old is he?
I'm going to say 31 years old.
Because in my mind, he's like 38. That guy's been around forever. Maybe I'm just like
34. I was
timelines.
undershooting it.
You know what?
I'm going to be real. I don't hate that at all.
I don't hate it.
I'm a big fan of that.
I thought he was at least 36. So like I don't hate that. As long as you can get at least 2 seasons out of him, cosign. I've been on the Devils should move Nemec train for a while now.
You have, yeah. He's got 3 years left on that contract. And it's not even a crazy contract. What is that, 8 million? 9 million? It's big, but it's not crazy.
I mean, you get what you pay for. That's a top guy.
He'd go
Pay
for a
top
lot
dollar.
more. He'd go for a lot more in free agency this year.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Jay, I'm a big fan of that.
That's a good pull.
Yeah, it's not looking good for my boy Nemec.
No, it's really not. Did you trade for Nemec or did you draft Nemec?
Trade from.
What was that trade like?
A top 5 pick plus a prospect.
Intriguing. Was that your player?
Yes.
Wow.
I think it was
I'm pretty
Colby
sure.
Barlow.
Intriguing.
Yeah, then I got Barlow and the 4th overall pick, which was Tija Ginla.
That's going to be an interesting one to watch as the years go by. Okay, a couple social media things last up here.
Oh, buddy.
Stick Talk's influence absolutely undeniable. We've talked about this a lot. We had just a few short weeks ago on the podcast, we were giving out big booms.
We were absolutely giving out big booms.
We titled an episode
5 big booms for Columbus.
And now, all of a sudden, the commentators, thinking they're getting cute, have something to say as well. Jay, you can run that clip.
Feeds it across. Score! Quinton Byfield! That's goals in 5 straight. Boom, 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 boom.
He stole my whole fucking flow.
Word for word.
Bar for bar, word for word.
So we'll play the Soldier Boy clip.
Drake.
Costco guys in an NHL commentary is quite a moment. That's a moment in NHL history right there, y'all.
Did you see Byfield hitting the boom like earlier in his 5-goal stretch because the Rizzler was in town?
Brain rot has taken over all of us. That's really what's happened here.
Speaking of brain rot.
We got one more, too.
Speaking of Drake.
Throw it up on the screen. Bardown posts a picture. I guess Drake posted it on Instagram or something like that. Of this motherfucker wearing a Hockey Canada jersey. We all know Drake's a Canadian fella.
He's also the most coattail ratting rapper I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The most bandwagon bitch ever.
I had a feeling he was going to hop on this Canada thing right now just because, he needs something to kind of rep that he's not going to get clowned for. And I mean, we're all West Coasters here. We've always associated more with like West Coast stuff in Kendrick than we have with Drake, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Drake and out in the six, out in Toronto. Take a hike, pal.
Tingsman.
I mean, yeah, Drake though, like wearing the Hockey Canada after the scandals like over the last couple of years, and then the hockey with the minors, the top comment betcha, and it involves minors. Minor penalties probably. Bro loves the World Juniors. No! Oh no! Oh no!
That's incredible.
Can you go back to that comment, Jay? I need to shout out whoever posted that. Young Poutine. Paul. Shout out to Paul. That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. I mean, like, Drake's just addicted to like horrific looks, and like Hockey Canada after their like sex scandals, and then the minors thing, and the World Juniors scandals, and then it's just like it just writes itself. Even like, did y'all see his tour poster?
No.
It's called the like Anita Max Win tour. I don't know what that's about, but the like poster for it is like a little girl. It's like a child. Brother, can you pull that up, Jay?
What?
Yeah, tour poster.
Drake?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh my god, what the Get Drake's PR on the phone.
No, who allowed? Like, nobody was like, hey, man, maybe not right now.
That's crazy. After everything, that's what you're going to lean into. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I love to see it. Like
anytime that Drake gets toasted for bandwagon hopping, like, when was the last time we really saw Drake give a shit about Canadian hockey or wear a Canadian hockey jersey?
Never.
Exactly. Bingo.
He was trying to be a part of hip hop culture, so he hopped on the Raptors. I mean, before that, he was, riding Steph and the Golden State Warriors.
And Duke.
Yeah, and Duke. That's right. And Houston, the Rockets. Never been a hockey guy, but now he's like, oh, everyone hates me everywhere. Canada probably still loves me. No.
Hey, guys, I'm Canadian.
Nah, brother.
Yeah. Also, like, I'm pretty sure his hands are tucked into his, like, hoodie pockets in that picture. But because the lighting is, like, so bad, it kind of just looks like he has his hands shoved down his pants, which makes the photo, like,
I think you do
10 times worse.
I feel like that's just what he's doing.
I think that might just be what he's doing.
No.
That's just
the
Drizzy.
Hockey Canada jersey with your hands down your pants is
like, you couldn't.
That's crazy.
You can't make that up. Like, that's so, like, the imagery is just so horrific.
The story of Adion.
Yeah, that's right. I like that. I mean, yeah. Another tough look for a guy that's prone to him.
Yeah. Prone to him's a good word for it at this point.
I love to see it, though. Shout out to both of y'all. This was a lot of fun this week.
This was a blast. This was a great episode. I'm really looking forward to giving it an edit later.
Yeah. And lots of great hockey to watch this week. If you're on the fence, if you don't always watch any teams that aren't your own team, take a look at some of these games this week. There's going to be some awesome hockey. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I have the Jackets and the Rangers circled. That's going to be such a banger.
Yeah, 100%.
That'll be like tomorrow, so you won't get to see that or hear about it.
Yeah, it's really tough. Like, Dallas, Colorado is Sunday. That'll be passed by the time this comes out.
Yeah.
And Vancouver, Utah.
But if you're a huge fan of, like, the wild card juggle, like I am, because I have ADHD, so, like, I just love picking things up and putting them down.
You know how to juggle?
No, I don't actually.
Me either.
But the premium premium sports juggling is right now.
Correct.
Just
I love it.
sit yourself down, grab a beer,
Mm-hmm.
and clear 3 hours because you're going to want to just hop from game to game to game.
Factual. So yeah, next week we'll be back. We'll maybe have a clearer picture of this. Maybe we won't. We'll have lots of new things to talk about. We already got some stuff scheming up that I'm really looking forward to getting into for episode 102. That was your Hockey 101 with Stick Talk Hockey. As always, I am your host, Tico. This is my co-host.
I'm yours truly.
Over there, we still got our producer.
Producer Jay.
Keep your dang head up.
Keep your head up.
Boom.
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 Stick talk. 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 Stick talk.